Hi, Mom. You know, somebody goes on TV.
I made it, y'all.
Look, Mama, I made it.
They call me childish. They call me the Holy Ghost, Son of the Most, Father. They don't know me.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much. If it's your first time, please make sure you smash that subscribe button. Wow, look at my words. They're literally leaving me. Today I am blessed. Okay, so over here I have Shawn, aka the Captain. Over here I have Paul, aka the Nero Effect. Over here I got Becky with the good hair, Rebecca, and we're about to have a really lit conversation. So guys, I don't know if you actually know what we're going to talk about, but allegedly, right? Context. There's a video that I watched last night, actually, which was like, did you guys hear what happened with AKA and his fiance?
Yes. Yeah. It's trending.
So we have like background information, right? Allegedly, there was a situation with them, then she jumped, and then she committed suicide, etc., etc., etc. What I actually wanted to know from you guys is, has anyone ever been in an abusive relationship?
Yes.
Have you?
I'll be the first. Yes, I have. Not physically abusive, but I find that verbally abusive is just as bad.
Yeah.
And we all know everything happens in the mind. So if somebody can control your mind, you know, I was in a relationship where this person was very... in retrospect, when I look back, I think they were a very insecure person. Okay. So they projected their insecurity to me. Yeah. So whatever he felt about himself, he projected to me. So if it was, you're not pretty enough, you're not good at this.
And that gets in your head.
It does.
Because then you're like, maybe I'm not pretty.
He criticized everything that I did and appreciated nothing. Yeah. So in the end, it affected my self-esteem. I didn't think I was good enough for anything. I literally coiled into a shell because I just didn't think I was worthy when I presented myself to other people because of what he said to me on a daily.
Which like makes a lot of sense to me, because if you've watched any videos on my channel, you know that there was a time when I went through the most, okay? And that's because of a situation literally like that. But I'm also interested to hear from the guys, because I know a lot of girls that have been through something such as like verbal abuse.
It's normal,
and like emotional abuse.
Okay, no, that I'm saying I'm normalizing it, but it's more common that guys do that to girls.
Unfortunately so. But then from the guys, have you ever experienced abuse? And if so, what kind of abuse is it?
You know, I have experienced abuse, and I'd say it was mental abuse. Like, it was a form of manipulation where someone enters your mind and tries to play with it because they're like, I feel like you've got harmony in your life. Can I just introduce a little bit of turmoil for you? You know? And
it's like, look at your nakis,
Just a hater.
No, you know, but you know, it's not that. I've come to realize it's not that a person is hating. It's just that they lacked a love when they needed it. And when they see something that looks like it's working, they're like, can I not get a piece of this? But when you're getting there, you are bringing what you have already brought, which is pain and what you didn't get. And that's what hurts, right?
Hurt people hurt other people.
Yeah, because I was about to say, I may have been guilty of doing that. If we're really being real.
And that's how the cycle goes. So that same person who, it's a flipping cycle where you realize that you end up questioning yourself like, am I worth this? I remember when I left my job at NASA, and I was like, I'm about to change my life. I'm about to change my whole life. Right. The lady I was dating at the time, I was like, yo, I'm about to change my life, but I want you to help me do this. Are you with me? Yeah. And she literally said, no, I'm not.
Oh. Well, like, you know, I commend her honesty, to be honest.
You know what?
Yeah.
And if she sorry. No, don't be.
Okay.
You're not. Because I guess I was looking for a crutch when I didn't need it.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the truth of the matter. Because I grew by myself and it helped.
Right.
So that same abuse that you experience ends up making you stronger if you choose to have it happen that way. But let's not lie. We experience abuse. I've experienced abuse.
I've experienced abuse too. But it came in the form of someone who spoke of love, great love, that was trying to make me feel guilty for not taking it as it was, which was abuse.
So kind of manipulating your mind into thinking that it's something that you obviously know it's not.
I think it's a form of gaslighting in a way.
It actually is gaslighting.
When somebody is trying to alter what the reality is and trying to make you think that it's something else.
Exactly. You're like,
you're like, damn, is the sky blue? Like, I don't even know no more.
You start to question yourself. You start to second guess yourself because of what somebody else is trying to make you think. Yeah. Abuse.
Damn,
that
is actually abuse. So during this interview that AKA did yesterday, he was detailing, this is what actually happened in the relationship, and this is what happened like on the night, because he was in the hotel room with her, and then explaining how the day had gone and stuff like that. A lot of what he said, so one of the things he said was, she was my everything, and I would wake up every day thinking, how happy can I make this person? And my question to you guys is, how much of a person's happiness in a relationship is dependent on their partner? Like, is it your job to make me happy in a relationship?
Right. I think I will go to a statement that people always chuck around and say that your happiness is your responsibility. You have to be a whole person before you get with somebody else. You have to be happy internally. Okay, I'm about to get to that. Exactly. I like that. I like that narrative. It's very cool. Obviously, yes. Have your own happiness. Have your own self-esteem. Like all that stuff. Great. But the moment that me and the next person are in a relationship, I think he is signing up to make me happy. Point blank. So he is also responsible to make me happy. Yeah.
Y'all agree?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Because if so, the world is a better place than I thought,
I don't think it works like that. I think it's a matter of complementing natures, right? So if my nature, just my being, makes you happy, right? That's a good thing. But it should be my being. It should not be something that is being done or I'm being made to do, right? So like I was saying, I'd love to learn, like when I was saying before we started recording that, I'd love to learn how to do makeup so I could do a lady's makeup. It's something I would like to do, right?
Yes.
But it's not something I should be forced to do. Because once I'm forced to do it and it makes you happy, it doesn't make me happy because I was forced to do it in the first place.
Right.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So then it becomes a question of, do your values align? It becomes a matter of value alignment. So in your relationships, are you making values align? Because if your values aren't aligning, then happiness, you need a tricky. You need a tricky.
I think, personally, I feel like exactly what you're saying. Sure, you should be happy by yourself, self-care, etc.
Of course.
But as for me and my household, I would like to be with someone who is also thinking, like, how can I make her happy? Because knowing myself and my language, like my love language,
thank you.
All I'll be doing is thinking, oh my gosh, how do I make him feel better? How do I make him happy? It's been a sad day. You know what I mean? Because I'm so like considerate of the other person and I want them to consider me too. And I think that's what, it means to be waking up and being like, how can I make this other person happy? Like, how do I consider a brother today? Not just in the way that Tash talks, but, let me consider, put myself in his shoes.
And that's what I'm saying. We're literally in agreement because that's what I'm saying. It should be a person's nature to be like that. You're saying it's your nature to be considerate, right? It's something that you don't have to think about doing it to do it.
Yeah.
So when you encounter someone who's like that, it works.
Yeah.
But when you meet someone who's not like that, hey, it's a risky life.
It's like you're panel beating someone into being a partner. Like,
I think that making someone happy in a relationship should come as a result of there being a foundation happiness between the two people first.
okay.
That being, as Paul was saying, understanding the being, the fact that I make you happy, right? Myself, and the fact that we are together, it should give enough reason that whatever I do after that is spilling over of that happiness to you.
Okay.
Base level.
Okay.
So if we don't have a good base level, I feel like everything we do then there should be more. It should be like this. It shouldn't be like this. Even though efforts are being done, but they're not being
recognized. It's like you're building on rocky soil, and if the rain comes, your house gets swept away.
You know?
So apparently, again, taking it back to the interview, like, as you can see, I'm not actually asking questions about their situations, but I actually just want to know, how do you feel? How do you think you would be in that kind of scenario? She had apparently allegedly threatened to jump off the balcony, and it wasn't the first time she had done something like that. She mentioned that she had done it at home. She had tried to jump out of a moving car, etc., etc. And AKA also said that, this wasn't the first time that she had, I guess, threatened suicide. So some level of me didn't believe that she was gonna do it. My question is that, how do you feel, first of all, about that statement and the fact that, it's taken as like you're crying wolf for suicide? Because from my perspective, right, suicide is such a deep thing that anytime someone threatens to do it, like, I would just take it seriously. Like, act like it's the first time every time.
Absolutely.
Because it's such a slippery slope for a lot of people that, like, the one time might just be the time that they decide to do it, or the one time it will be the time that they decide, I'm never going to think about this again. There is an effect in dismissing someone. How do you feel about that? Or should it not be, like, a responsibility, I guess? Like, someone deciding whether or not to kill themselves shouldn't be put so much on you then.
I think that, firstly, I don't have statistics or anything, but I know that for a fact, most people who commit suicide have reached out to somebody before. They've said it before. Most of the time, it's not like, it's a few times when somebody commits suicide and then people are like, we didn't see this coming.
Yeah.
A lot of people would have said something.
Yeah.
So I would think that if you're in a relationship, some form of relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, it's your sister, your brother, your mother, your dad, or whatever, if they tell you that they're having suicidal thoughts or they want to kill themselves, it is your responsibility, because you're in a relationship with that person to help them. The problem is that, like, we keep saying this. I mean, there's a lot of awareness on mental illness these days all over social media. People are starting to have that conversation. But it's clear that in the past, and a lot of people don't take mental illnesses seriously, especially, I think it's also a cultural thing.
That's why people are ashamed.
People are ashamed of it. And I will say this as somebody who suffered from depression. I've been treated for depression before, and thank God I'm over it and stuff. But a lot of people don't understand what is going on. And people usually reject what they don't understand. So the moment I come to you and I say, Paul, I want to kill myself, in a way, you're not taking it seriously, you're rejecting it because you don't understand it.
True.
Yeah.
So that's like...
What are you saying? That people need to be aware of the problem itself so that they can help? Yes.
People need to be aware. It's a difficult thing to understand, I will say, because, like, when I was going through depression, my family didn't even understand, I would say. I don't think they fully understood it, but they respected what was going on. They acknowledged what was going on, and they could help me.
But then I feel
when
like
you say they respected, how do you, what's respect?
as opposed to if somebody says I want to kill myself, I think it's a disrespecting of some sort to just say, she's just crying wolf. She's not being serious.
I get you. Yeah, I get
No,
you.
but at some point also, I feel like, yes, I understand that perspective, but people also have to be responsible to themselves. Like the way that you saying it, I would feel like, Saka, it's now my responsibility as soon as someone says I'm going to commit suicide to watch over them 24/7 because I am my sister's keeper and we're in a relationship. Like now I'm not living my life. I'm living my life and your life because my whole life has become consumed by the idea of you always saying, and also what I'd want to bring to the table, maybe unpopular opinion. Some people use it as a way to manipulate a situation or a relationship.
Some people
you end up feeling indebted to this person because it's like, how can you leave me? I'm gonna kill myself. And then you're like, well, now I can't leave
blackmail
you.
now.
Now we're together for 60 years. Now I've been resenting you. Like there's so much stuff. Like, is it my responsibility like that though? I don't think so.
That's the whole dimension that you've brought to it. I would also then add to say that if you know that you suffer from depression, a lot of people you'll find that a lot of people cannot help themselves. That's why they need somebody to actually help them. But depression also has, can I call them levels? Some people can acknowledge that, okay, I've got depression. When I was depressed, I knew I was depressed. I went to seek the help that I got, right? Because I was not in denial. Some people are actually also in denial. They don't know that they're depressed. So it comes in levels. It's such a complex thing. It's so complex that just a comment on this AKA thing, it's so difficult to judge or make conclusions because this is a very complex thing as well. Yeah.
I hear that and I actually agree with that totally. And it's a very slippery slope to navigate. And then I'd have to coach. You see, lately I've been reading a lot of Japanese text. And
in Japanese?
No, in English. In English. Japanese text translated.
Okay, because now I'm thinking that's another superpower you've got, because we know you've got superpowers.
I was like, nigga, what the
fuck? I've been reading Japanese text, and there's this Japanese swordsman. His name is Yago Munenori, and he was
anime.
No, not anime. No, he actually lived. He was a real person.
Oh, really?
He lived a long time ago. Okay. So he wrote a book called The Life-Giving Sword, and in that he talks about how in life you have to be strong enough for yourself in order to preserve life, right?
Okay.
Life's intention, life's purpose is to preserve life. Your being alive, us doing this right now, anyone who's watching this right now might actually get a sign to live from this conversation we're having right now. So we are life preserving life in this instance, right? So
damn.
Yeah.
So it is our responsibility to look after our kin, especially when they tell us that they are feeling like they might just want to end their life. Because it's not natural. Natural nature says continue to preserve life for as long as you can. That's what's natural. So there's an unnatural thing that will be happening in that instance. And it's our responsibility to say, this is unnatural. And we can see how we can help people in such a situation. However, there's only so much.
I was gonna say, because
Okay.
There's only so much help that you can render. And then that life-giving sword turns to the death-dealing sword. Right? Yes. There's a flip side.
Okay.
The life-giving sword turns into the death-giving sword, where you realize that life does not want to preserve life. Life wants to end life.
Okay.
Right? There are people who get nihilistic, where if you let that life live, right, that life is going to end more lives. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But then I have a question.
Yes.
Everybody wants to play kumbaya and say that, okay, it's our responsibility. I am my sister's keeper.
Yes.
This, that, and the other. If you guys are accepting to assume such responsibility, given the choice, would you be in a relationship with somebody who you know to have mental health issues?
I've been in a relationship. In relationships.
Okay.
Like
With
you
people.
just choose and be like, yes, I'll still do it, knowing the responsibility that it's going to put on you to do the checks and balances with this person and like kind of be with them through it.
Yeah. And then at some point in time, you then realize, my energy is insufficient.
Okay, but then what do you do though? What if you're like in a relationship where you're married and you took vows for better or for worse? Then you realize that your energy is insufficient. What do you do then?
Not to separate Bill Gates and Melinda.
Wait, no, just pause. Did you see the meme that said, what does Melinda know about the vaccine?
Shut up.
That's serious.
They are parting ways, and Bill Gates has energy. You know the energy. Kwanza kukiwa nyika.
Right.
Anorapa nyika.
That is actually wild.
So you have to understand, Kuti, there's levels to it. And your energy can be insufficient no matter how much you have.
Difficult.
So you have to know when to leave. Emotions.
Oh, yeah.
Kuti, we have emotions, right? And they're called emotions. But when we hold on to them too much, they become standing stills, don't they? But there's no such thing as an standing still, is there?
What?
Emotions, they should be going. Let them go.
That is so cheesy, but like genius at the same time.
Wow.
Because you're not emotion, you're standing still.
Exactly.
He's standing still. What the fuck? Okay, so going back to the interview that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So a lot of the behaviors that AKA was describing about their relationships, to some people may seem like we're indicating towards abuse. But he kept using the word passion. It's because we're very passionate people. She's as passionate as I am. Therefore, our conversations would get heated. I can't tell you what it was about when I banged through the door. We all saw those pictures.
We saw the video. Yeah.
Like, I can't tell you what we were fighting about, but I would never characterize our relationship as abusive. It's just that we're passionate. So, guys, first of all, what is passion? At what point do you draw the line and you're like, okay, it's nice when you beat me in the bedroom, but like, don't just be beating me, my nigga. It's turned from passionate to just abusive.
No, that's a bit too much. I feel like he was downplaying the situation of whatever was going on and how toxic the relationship was.
Optic way yakasimba. Even the questions nofunga ngakamunza sha indoto vunze easy
So.
otherwise apana diri.
On top of that, a nigga didn't even shed a tear like that. He was just like,
Anga chimwe ngadongo chema but akashaya kanya maonyeni rembodayo.
No, you just say that.
Someone who's in the game like that can't go guy on this.
Yes, you can't have a beast.
Kanaka Vix.
Yeah, something. Chungu show remorse. He was rather calm.
No.
It looks like it's just like a photo op.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Which is so sad that he's trying to save face when somebody has died.
Plus, I think I think akawandisa.
And the problem is, like with everything, there's always three sides to the story. So right now, his side is the only side because the other party, unfortunately, isn't even here to speak for themselves. And he kept referencing that and being like, no, I don't want to like tarnish her legacy, which I respected. But then I was like, don't be selective about when you want to tarnish her legacy now. When they're talking about drugs, then you're like, I don't want to tarnish her legacy. But now we're talking about you. Did you abuse her? I don't want to tarnish her legacy. At what point are you using I don't want... Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a shield.
When it's convenient.
I don't know.
Yeah, when it's convenient for you.
But then that's also why I wanted to ask you guys. That's not something new. Like us talking about something like this isn't new because right now people are getting tried like in the media before anything even goes to court, or they could be declared innocent, but they're already cancelled, which has more effects in this internet situation. What do you think about like people kind of using trial by media to cancel people and cancel culture? Because right now we don't know anything outside of what he's told us. But then people are already like, cancel that nigga, this, that, and the other. Like, how do you even balance the two? I know that's right.
You've got a stamp, huh?
You know, people just as I reflect on this question, I'm like, deep.
Exactly, yeah, like just deep. The question in itself.
You know what, I'll say this whole concept of cancel culture, like we have to ask ourselves, if we're indulging in the idea of cancel culture, what are we saying? Are we just conformists? Are we waiting for other people to give opinions to us and then we just accept them at face value? Are we really not going to use our own brains to come up with...
Because, like, have you ever been scared to get dragged on Black Twitter? So you just end up being like, I guess I agree. But inside, like, inside, that's not actually what you thought. You were like, but then you've seen the other nigga get dragged for difference in opinion. You're like, let me just... I'll sit this one out.
It then has to bring us back to our question: what are we using on social media for? Is on our social media not then the poison that we're taking to allow us to fail to see reality as it is in all instances? Because if we're saying cancel culture and we're canceling a person who might be in the correct, or we're not canceling the person who's wrong. You know, that flip of sides, and yet you with your rational mind can see that there's missing information here. I should think more. I should research a little better. You know, I shouldn't be, because you know the thing is, as with the big, so with the small. So this might be a big issue for them, but lo and behold, you might have it in your own home. Yeah. And if you don't know what's what, you won't know how to deal with it when it's right at your doorstep.
Definitely.
So it's important then to really be like, yo, am I a cancel culturist? Am I about this life? Or am I really gonna take some time to really find out and subtract myself from the situation and just see it with the original mind? The mind that has no doubts. The mind that is not sullied by other people's opinions. The mind...
Guys!
Exactly.
That original mind, you have to warn that discerning mind. You know, reading a Bible, you'd amen. If we can...
Because y'all did that shit to R. Kelly back in the day and he was back in the streets. You're like, oh, we don't know that to be fact. What if the videos were photoshopped? And then y'all the same people that got mad when he was out again and doing the same shit and now elevated. And now you're like, oh, cancel R. Kelly. Y'all should have canceled him a long time ago.
What is a cancel? What is a cancel then? What is a cancel?
What is canceling?
Because I'm
okay, that's actually...
Because
that's actually a good
we canceled
question.
him, we muted him,
oh
everything.
Gosh.
Yeah, everything.
No, but what is a cancel though? Is it just like you may have your opinion of the person? Because on Twitter people lie as well. People will be like, oh,
that's an understatement.
People will be like, oh, I've cancelled R. Kelly, but the same ones are bumping him in the car.
Yeah, so what's
it's like you're contributing to his streams, but you're like, cancel R. Kelly.
Yeah.
So people can say things on Twitter, but in their house,
in reality,
they're still bumping to R. Kelly. So what's cancel?
Is it even a cancel if I'm saying I'm cancelling this person because I'm giving that person clout? Someone will see that tweet and they didn't even know. They're like, who is this person who's being cancelled?
You're like giving them a come up.
This good artist.
You're even making them relevant because a lot of them would have died out.
So you end up realizing that it's all really love. Even when you think you're hating, you're really loving.
You think you're hating, but you're pro somebody. Yeah,
they're hating and making it worse.
You're propagating the system with your hate.
I think cancel culture is a result of the collective state where I think a lot of people are, which is in a state of finding people who are trying to better themselves. Finding people who have got grind, finding people who are living in the original mind and trying to pull them, the crabs in the bucket type of situation.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it's getting more prevalent these days, but I feel it. Like you see someone doing maybe snoka. And a blazer. You are disregarding already. You don't even know, but you're disregarding already.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think
So wait, are you trying to say that people are using like cancel culture as a way to just get their little fights in the world to be like, you know what? I got a problem with Paul.
Yeah.
Is that what?
Exactly.
Just to start some jazz for someone.
Right. Exactly. I think I totally agree. It then just goes back to another idea of how we've got keyboard warriors on social media. I think
Click, click, click.
I think a lot of those people and some of the hate, if you go to comment sections, when somebody posts something, it's one of those things you then realize that it then boils down to people have other issues that have nothing to do with what has been posted, what's going on social media, but that's where they're going to let it out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it has nothing to do with you.
You become a victim of people's problems in the background.
Exactly.
Projection.
Yes, like what she
Projection.
was saying.
Yeah.
Hurting people.
Yeah.
Big on me, the Holy Ghost, Son of the Most, Father they don't